Hey everybody, this is Kathy, Crowder's Mountain, North Carolina. Sorry it's been a while since I uploaded a video, but you know how it is with Thanksgiving and Christmas and kids and all this good stuff that's happening. It's been about 2 weeks since I uploaded one. So I've painted one that I think you guys will like, and it's a Christmas one. And I'm hoping that I will get another Christmas video up, Christmas barn quilt video up next week. And then I'm just not sure after that. It may be January before I get another one up. But I just wanted to let you know that, you know, with the scheduling and all that goes on at Christmas. But I have other videos, older videos that you could go back, like the Grinch hand. People still love the Grinch. And so you could find that video. And that snowflake that I did the last time, the more I look at it, the more I think there's got to be an easier way to draw that out. And I'm working on that. And if I can figure it out an easier way, I may put that one up again in January, because around here we really don't get a lot of snow until, if we're going to get it at all, it'll be January, February. So a snowflake would be appropriate for that time of year too. All right, let's get at it. Let me show you what I got. So we're going to do a poinsettia. And this is a 24 by 24. And it's not going to be hard at all. And you can embellish it to the 10th degree if you wanted to. But it's only 4 blocks, see? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're just going to connect some lines together, and we're going to have us a poinsettia. Now, before I forget to tell this, see this inside here? You can make that as large as you want to. If you want your yellow to be more dominant than that, then you just make this larger, or you can make this square larger. But as I was looking at over it like this, and I'm going to put it on the side of my house or give it away. I'm not sure which one I was going to do. Hadn't made my mind up really. A lot of times, that's what happens. I'm doing one for me, and I think, oh no, she would like this, or he would like that, and so I just give them away. But anyway, back to my pattern here. So you could just make it as big as you want to. Just think about where you're going to hang it. And if it's going to be like on a building or a barn, you may want to make that yellow spot bigger. But if you're going to put it on a porch, a deck, just some kind of little shed that's not too tall, the small yellow dot would center would be fine. All right, let's get to making this. All right, so I told you it's 4 blocks across and 4 blocks up. So I've already made those. So I'm going to show you here. We're just going to make 4 into, I need 4 blocks. I've got 24 inches. So 4 into 24 is 6. So my blocks are going to be 6 inches wide. So I'm just making a tick mark every 6 inches. So that's 6, 12, 18, and this one's 24. And I promise y'all I'm going to try to keep my head out of it. But you know that don't always work. Oh, Willa's laying right under my feet. I make it. I can get it done, Willa. Somehow. Okay. Here's 6, 12, and 18. All right. Now we've made our tick marks, and we're just gonna connect them. And we're just drawing a grid for our pattern. Now, you guys who have made plenty of these, you know that you can do it without a grid. But for the folks who have never drawn a barn quilt pattern, I just think the grid is the easiest way to go. And if I do it at the beginner level, then the way I look at it is the beginners can do it, but if you've been drawing them a long time, then you can see how it's done and draw it your way. If you're, you know, if you're more, oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Experienced. If you're more experienced at it. All right, so we've got our 4x4. We got 4 over, 4 up. So that's our grid. Now let's draw the pattern. And I'm going to draw this part first, the red. And that is not hard at all. So the first thing that we want to do, and I can use a smaller ruler for this, is, you know how I like to go block by block. So our second block, all we're going to do, this is going to be simple, y'all. I promise. We're just drawing our lines. We're going from left to right, up and down. And we're going to do that all the way around. And I know I just said block by block, but you'll see why in a minute that this was be the easiest way. So we went up and down. We went around on this side and went up and down. It's the second and third block. Second and third. Second and third. So I think you can start seeing what we're doing now. And all we're going to do is just connect those lines. We're going in the middle of our points here. And make sure you go straight across that center. And just make these 4 lines. You got your poinsettia, all but the start, the center. Let me show you how I do that. Okay, now it's according to how, like I said, it's according to how big you want the center to be. But now I'm going to make mine about 1.5 inches. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm putting it on 1.5 right in the center. I'm going to make a tick mark. Tick mark on that line. Oh, was that 1.5 or that was more? Yep, right here. Make sure I got that on the half. I just measured that wrong. Sorry. Alright, put it on 1.5 on every one of the lines. So I'm putting I'm putting the 1.5 mark right here in the center. And then 1.5. Okay, one more time. All right, you see that? Is there something wrong with this one? Gracious. I got a cat pawing at me. Oh, my leg. I can't concentrate. Come here, baby. Come here, Willie. Come here, Willie. Oh, I know my big fat kitty. Come up here. Just sit right there a minute. All right. So I've got 1.5 inches from the center. I drew out 1.5 inches. Now all I'm going to do is connect those dots. And that's what's going to make, the center of our poinsettia. And like I said, if you want yours to be bigger, then all you have to do is maybe draw it out 2 inches instead of 1.5. And then it's according to how, you see that cat tail? She's looking at a squirrel. But anyway, that's why I can't get nothing done. I get distracted by the cat. But anyway, this center here, if you want the yellow part, this yellow, if you want it to be bigger, now's the time to make it bigger. And I just made mine like 1/2 inch. So I got the 0 up here and the 1/2 inch mark here. And I just draw it down. And then just go across. So you're just drawing a square here once you get that one done. Oops. You see that? All right, now, here's a couple of ways you can do this. Now, we're still working on these petals. So I just used a lighter red and a dark red. I did not divide my petal in half because, you know, a poinsettia leaf is a pretty good size. So I didn't want to divide that in half. But as you're painting it, I have seen people take this color and make streaks. And then on this one, they'd take that color and make the streaks. I didn't want to do that. But it is really pretty if that's what you want to do. And, you know, just kind of give it some, looks like the leaves are kind of folded or gives the leaves a little bit of character. It's entirely up to you. But here's what I did. I used a light red and a dark red. Light, dark, and just alternate it. So I'm just going to put light red, dark red. And this one is a third red. It's a darker red. So light red, dark red, light red, dark red, light, dark. So you see what I'm saying? It's every other one. And it goes all the way down here. So your pattern ended up being, I'll draw it on this one. So your pattern ended up being part of your poinsettia. See, this is just a grid line, so you don't pay that any attention. You'll be getting rid of that before you paint. All right, so we got the poinsettia. Let's do the leaves. Now, for the leaves, they're pretty simple too. So we're going to take the corner here. This is the center, and we're going to draw down to the center here. I'm talking to the camera, Willa. I ain't crazy. There's a point. There's a reason I'm talking. Let's see, let's do green, because the leaves are going to be green. All right. Don't bite me. All right, so we're going from the center to the center. See that? And that way, see, you can measure that if you wanted to, but you don't really have to if you do it like this. Because that's going to be halfway up here. Now, if you didn't want to do it this way, if you didn't have a 24-inch or a yardstick, you could do it by just making you a guideline here. See, you already got that line, so you just make an X in here. But this part would just be a guideline. And then when you got to the center, you just draw it down. I'll leave that on there so you can see it. But this is the easiest way to get that pattern on there. I think the cat thinks I'm trying to teach her how to draw. Don't bite me, Will. Don't bite Mama. All right. Okay. For these blocks here, we're going to do the same thing, but we do have to find the center of these blocks. If we don't, and we could do it measuring it all kind of different ways, but the easiest way, I think, so you can measure it. If you wanted to say this is 6 inches, so this is 3, and then this is 3, and then down 3. But here's the easiest way, I think, since it's in the center. Just make you some guidelines. And it saves measuring. And all we're doing is trying to find the center of this block. And so when we find it, we could do it this way. We draw it down. And that's the easiest way, because now you've got that block divided in half as well. See, these are divided in half by your grid. Well, now this one is divided in half with that guideline that we made. So you could actually, instead of making the broken line for a guideline, just make that part of your pattern, because that's what that is. We're going to do a light and dark, light and dark. All right. Now, you always want to make sure these are in line. So once you've got, let's see, let's find the center up here. Like I said, you could measure it off if you wanted to. But here's a easier way to do it. And see, we're at in the center. I'm just drawing down to that line. See? Now we've got 2 of them. Now what we could have done, just to make sure they was in line, was put our ruler here. Once we found the center, we could have drawn down and made sure it was in line with this one. But if you've got it measured right, it's going to come out right. And this is kind of an easy way to get it to come out just perfect, lined up with each other. Whether if you were measuring, I mean, you could do it, but it might just get off whack a little bit. See, I'm lining it up with that too. All right. One more. See that? I'm lining it up with that in the corner. And my arm's just short and I can't reach it. Okay. Get down to the center and we're drawing our lines. Now see, this is really going to be part of the pattern there. And I'll show you what colors I used. So now there's our poinsettia. And remember, I used dark, light, dark, light, dark, light all the way around. Now what I did was I was trying to make sure when I first started off that these lines, these blocks, this is the dark green, so that's the light red. But on here, these blocks right here, this is dark and that's dark. Because I didn't want the light here close to that light. Does that make sense? So you want to kind of give it some definition. All right. So take your screenshot. And now take a screenshot of this one. So you'll have it. Now let me show you my colors. Okay. For the lighter red, I used red gumball. I can't believe I finally found it. And for the darker red, I used cut ruby. But now you could use heirloom red and whiplash. You could whatever colors of red that you like, just dark and light. And if you don't have but one color of red, put you a little, just a tiny squirt of white in there and mix it up really good, enough to where you know you're going to have enough, and use it for your light. Now for the center here, I want it a little bit darker than the rest of it. And you can't hardly tell it, but it is heirloom red. So the cut ruby and the heirloom red came out looking just a lot alike, but it was enough for me. But you might want to think about an even darker color. Put you a little black in that dark red and make it a darker color. All right, now the green, I used avocado green for my light and succulent leaves for my darker green. And for the center, I used golden butter, but you could use any yellow that you wanted. And then the same way with the green. If you got two favorite greens, use that. And for the outside of it, I didn't really want a bright white, but I didn't want it dark either, like a beige or anything. So I used silver bullet. And I think I was thinking of Christmas being, you know, like silver and that color and that kind of thing. So that's why I use silver bullet. But it looks more like a white unless you just know you put silver bullet on there. But anyway, the only other thing I did want to show you is the back. When I start working on one of my barn quilts, I put this tape on the back. So when I'm painting, you see, when you're painting, instead of getting it all over the back, you'll get it on your tape. And this one, this particular one, I've already put the sealer on it. And I'm not sure if you could see it or not, but you know when you're putting a sealer on, it gets clumpy down on the bottom, and sometimes I miss a drip. But this keeps it from getting gunky looking on the back. So when I pull this off, you see if I can get a hold of it. I'm gonna pull this part off because that's got that sealer on it. I'm trying to get my fingernails up under there. All right, you see all that? Maybe I just put you down closer and you can see it. All right, now I'm just gonna pull my tape off away from my board. And unless I tear it, I use it twice. I can use the other side too for the next barn quilt. Do you see how clean that is? Piece of tape don't want to come off. Did you see how clean that is? So you got a real good clean back. Now some people, I've got quills on the back of mine. And sometimes I prime it, and sometimes I don't. I mean, not prime it, but put tint in my primer. And sometimes I don't. So, it just be up. See all that over here? That would have been on the back of that quilt. If you're painting it for somebody or going to sell it to them, I don't know. The back, to me, just needs to look good, too, even though they're going to hang it up. It's all about the presentation, y'all. All right. Here you go. And I hope you have a Merry Christmas. And we'll try to get another one up. Whether it be that snowflake again or another one. I will try to get one more up in time for you to paint it for Christmas. So maybe next Monday, I'll try to get another one up by then. Or even Friday if I can. But we'll see what happens. And y'all have a Merry Christmas. And I just want to thank you all. I looked on YouTube. It's the control center for YouTube. I can't remember what it is now. But anyway, I looked and I had 2,400 and something subscribers, and I get excited about that. I don't make any money. I don't have enough views to make any money, but I don't care about that. I just love it when people send me messages that says I've helped them. They couldn't figure it out, and because of the way I explained it, it helped them, and that just means the world to me. But anyway, I digressed. I looked and I had like 2,400 and something. And I thought, well, wouldn't that be fun just to have 2,500 by the end of the year? Well, I looked again. I've got over 2,500 now. It's 2,520 something. And that just excites me. It's, y'all, it's not about the money. It's about our community of barn quilt painters, and somebody gets joy out of this, and I know I do. I think I'm addicted to either painting them or smelling the paint. I'm not sure which one it is, but I like it. So anyway, thank you all, and it would really be fun to have 2,600 now by the end of the year. And so if you liked what you saw, if you'd share it with your friends, and if they subscribe, it'll help my channel grow too. So anyway, I do appreciate all of you for watching, and especially for you guys who have hung in there to the end of this video. I appreciate it. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless us all.